Takis and Mountain Dew today.
I brought this topic up to Steve about 15 seconds ago. I was like, you want to do this? He's like, yes, let's do that.
We've already done this episode 10 times. I mean, we just never recorded it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Right?
Have you ever had Takis?
Yeah. When my son Adam was like in grade school, junior high, high school, and I would like take him home from the football games Friday night, we'd usually stop at 7-Eleven and get some junk food, and Takis would be it. And then it would just be like more often than not, he would just could not make it home without losing his mind.
That was almost a spit take for those of you not watching the video.
He could not make it home. He was like just busted.
Like too spicy, you mean?
Yeah. Because at first they're kind of fun. They're kind of you had them.
Yeah, you get the little bite.
Yeah, the little bite, and there's a little vinegar going on.
Yep.
But then the compound rate of heat is quite a bit, and so that was tough.
While we're still on the topic of the food and drink items themselves, before we get to the metaphor behind them,
it's not a metaphor, Jack.
it's just the truth.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's the thing I notice with kids.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me my favorite junk food. I thought this was more like a human
Steve,
interest.
What's your favorite junk food?
Okay, so I do drink a lot of Gatorade Zero, right?
That's your post-band jam.
It
You
is.
hit up the gas station, right?
It's like 32 ounces.
Whoa, okay, yeah.
It's like
let's
big,
go.
right?
It's like
And
a ton
then-
of coffee you drink.
So now, then I usually have like some kind of like Little Debbie thing, and then usually get something like Doritos
Which,
or
like,
Cheez-Its.
that does not pair well with Gatorade.
No.
Like a Little Debbie zebra cake plus
No.
a Gatorade, that sounds really gross.
It's pretty intense. A lot of sugar.
And then Doritos.
Then Doritos. But it's usually more like stress eating and just kind of chilling out on the way home,
I get that.
right?
It is impossible to go home from band and not just, like, eat your weight in junk food.
Right. So then I get home, then I'm not quite as hungry. Yeah, the salty, sweet, spicy, and then
And then
electrolytes.
electrolytes kind of replenish you, right? Yeah.
And I listen to like 5 stations of talk radio on the way home. Left, right, middle. Left, right, middle. That's the name of my political party.
I was
going
to ask you, is that politics? Left,
Yeah,
right,
it's like
middle?
everything. Politics, religion, sports on the way home.
Trifecta.
Okay. So
Okay.
what's your after band thing?
Oh, dude, I've been hitting the dots hard. Not the gummy candy dots,
No.
but like the dots pretzels.
What color or what?
Okay, so I think the green bag is new. Have you had green?
What is that, sriracha?
It's like garlic parmesan.
Ooh.
It tastes a lot like the regulars, but it's a
Okay.
little more garlicky. It was on sale on Amazon, and I was like, let's go, see what's going on. But now dots are even cheaper. The red bag, the OGs on Amazon. Dude,
Those are pretty yummy because they're buttery and they're salty and they're
my gosh.
spicy.
they're
But
by
they're like
far the most superior pretzel you can buy.
They are the perfect size too.
They are. And they come in 1 pound bags.
Right.
It's like 2 bags a week in my household.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's
Right.
not good.
But also
they're so good.
they're small enough where you don't bite it and then it like makes a bunch of crumbs. They're like kind of like right.
Yep,
Like the
you can-
ratio. Of,
Yep.
it's not like eating pretzel rods,
No.
right?
Oh yeah, because those are so thick, and like you
Then you
try
get
and bite it, and
crumbs
it's
all
just
over.
like you were at the beach, like just
Right.
sand. And like, ugh.
Exactly. Okay.
Okay, I need to share you my beef with Takis and how kids eat them. This is
Yeah.
this
Go
is
ahead.
gross.
Say it.
They suck on them. They suck the flavor off of them, and it's so gross to watch. And then this is my personal pet peeve. That they get all the red dust on their fingers, and then they suck the dust off of their finger, and you hear the
And then-
like smacking sounds, and I just want to like bash my
Well-
head into a wall. I was like, "Will you stop?" They're like, "This is how I like to eat." I don't care how you like to eat them.
Yeah, and then heaven forbid, now they're touching iPads, screens, and they're turning in papers, and then they're playing piano
Mr. Hinkle, why is my piano red?
because you're full of red dye number 5.
God. Okay, here's why we're talking about Takis and Mountain Dew. Go, Steve.
Okay, the reason we're talking about
I was so real.
Takis and Mountain Dew is that I think we've had a pandemic in the last 5 years, but we do have an epidemic of students that are choosing to be, well, okay, this is a tough one. Students
Stay strong, buddy.
students that come to school malnourished.
Not because they can't, but because
I'm saying
they
because
choose
they
to.
I was going to say they choose to.
They
Okay.
choose to.
Okay.
They malnourish themselves.
Okay. So breakfast is provided at school
So is lunch.
if needed, and
Yeah.
lunches. Now, it is a school institutional food, so it is what it is. It's not like it's not like going to Fresh Time or Whole Foods, but it is. You can get yourself something fresh, something protein, and something starchy, right?
Yep.
And so what Takis and Mountain Dew, or Takis and Diet Mountain Dew, stands for is the students that we see on a regular basis that are, I would just say, out of gas, running on empty. And when they're running on empty, and then you talk to them about what they've had to eat in the last 12 hours, the common response, or an example of a response, is, well, I had a bag of Takis for breakfast and a Mountain Dew. And they are mopey because they feel their belly hurts and they're tired. And I'm just thinking, like, Takis, I mean, I'm not like making that up. I'm not like, that's not just like kids. I'm not just like picking that. That's like more than enough kids have said Takis.
Well, you see it too. Like they come to school with like these giant backpacks, and like at this point, you pretty much need your iPad for every class. And you look in, and you'll see like the giant carton of goldfish, and then you see the giant black bag of the blue Takis, and you're like, "What are you doing?" They're like, "That's my lunch. I packed my lunch today." I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, it's bad.
You said that to the band today. You said Takis and Mountain Dew to the band, and I like snickered in the back field.
I know, because we I think it is a concern. I think it is a concern of how students choose to get calories in their body. And there would be exception to maybe students that don't have access to quality foods at home or an abundance of food at home. But also in the school day, you have 2 meals provided for you.
Yes. Yes.
And I am baffled about the number. Now, some of that could be students flexing and saying, that's all I've had is Takis and Mountain Dew.
Yes, it could be.
It could be they're just kind of like, messing around. But sometimes it becomes like a badge of honor. Like, yeah, I've only had Takis, But then they really don't feel good. And I wish students ate better. And I wish students drank better, like drank more simple things like water.
Yeah, right.
And I wish students slept more. And I'm not talking about like, I don't think kids listen to our podcast anymore, so I think we're in the clear. But I'm thinking of a balcony of kids that will say, well, I stay up so late because I'm in athletics and band and I'm taking AP Gov. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about those kids, because the kids that stay up because they're doing 2 activities and they're taking classes where they're really diving in and trying to get their homework done, they're not the ones that are totally out of their minds. I'm talking about the kids that are staying up to 2, 3, 4 playing Fortnite, eating Takis and Mountain Dew. And how do we know that? Because they tell us.
It's true. People talk. There's like a question like, what's awesome when you're an adult, but what stinks when you're in kindergarten? Going to bed at 10 p.m. Right? And eating real food. Those are awesome when you're an adult, but it stinks when you're in kindergarten. And there's some line where you cross over.
Yes.
And you're like, I understand. And what we're talking about right now is helping the kids be successful. I mean, yes, this is like a nutrition thing, but especially in marching band where there are a lot of calories being exerted and a lot of time standing up and moving around, I mean, you got to have fuel. And a lot of kids say, well, I'm not a breakfast person. I'm sure you've heard that before. Steve just rolled his eyes so hard they almost fell out of his head. They say, I'm not a breakfast person. And I would like to think, well, it's probably because you never tried. Like, well, if I eat food at 8 a.m., I just feel nauseous. Like, well, what's wrong? What's wrong with you? Why? Like, are you not training yourself to eat properly? If I don't eat breakfast,
I'm a loon.
It's not going to go well for me.
Yeah, I'm a loon.
That's good.
Thank you. I'm a loon. The only time I skip breakfast, it's very intentional. And it's like 3 times a year. I skip breakfast.
Blood work
or like fasting, yes. Intentional fasting. That is it.
That's it.
I don't like today. Now, my stomach has been a little wonk wonk in the morning, so I'm not as big as I used to be, but I did have a protein bar with like 21 grams of protein in it.
Wow. That's legit.
2 cups of coffee.
2 cups of coffee.
I had to muscle it down, but I was like, I have to eat.
And you're very consistent with your intake, right? Like, and that's something I actually talked to this with my kids about it. I said, this may sound fascinating, but if you eat something different against your norm, you will feel against your norm, for better or for worse. I tell them,
That's true.
I am a 2 eggs, 2 pieces of toast, banana, cup of coffee every morning.
Wait,
all
say
the
that
time.
again. 2 eggs.
With cheese, garlic powder, and
Wait.
pepper.
What kind of eggs?
Scrambled.
2 scrambled.
From chickens, not like turkey or like ostrich. Yeah.
Okay, 2 chicken eggs with cheese and garlic powder. Pepper.
Yeah.
Okay, then 2 pieces of toast, which
wheat
is
bread.
wheat bread, high in fiber.
That's why.
What do you put on it?
Butter.
Real butter or
Real butter.
butter? Like
no,
fake
real
butter.
salted. And if I'm feeling a little more fancy, I'll throw on the cinnamon sugar. A little.
And then
little
coffee.
Razzle-dazzle. Banana coffee.
Banana coffee every day.
Every day.
Do you eat
Every
it
school day.
fast?
Do I what?
Eat it fast?
No, I try and take my time.
Do you read your phone?
Yeah, I'm like playing games and junk.
Dungeons and Dragons. Are you? Do you play D&D
this
online?
is my gym
Do you-
into the
Do
camera.
you play D&D online?
No, I do not.
Sorry. Okay. What do you play?
I play like random phone games.
You don't want to divulge in what they are.
Why are you trying to dig into me right now? You're like
Because
got this evil grin on your
I haven't
face.
done that in a while, and I feel like sometimes we just kind of take ourselves too lightly, and we just kind of skate around. I think that we need to
Oh
push
yeah,
it.
let's go back and listen to the tape. Let's see how serious these podcasts have been lately.
No, we don't.
Watch the reel that comes out tomorrow, Steve. The reel that comes out tomorrow is where we start yelling into the camera.
It's because I feel like I have a quarter of a soul. I think the last 4 weeks I have had like a tenth of a soul. So I feel
Well, between us, that probably means we have 2/10 of a soul. So that's great. I tell the kids my soul's like my coffee.
black, dark and bitter. Steaming, dark and bitter.
0 calories.
I'm
Okay.
just like Vienna roast, dark roast.
Like, how do you drink that all day? I'm like, you don't put any cream in it? I'm like, no. Anyway, okay. What were we talking about? Oh, the breakfast stuff.
Yeah.
So I do that every day, and I feel the same every day. I feel good. I feel good when I get to school, and I feel good when I eat at 6:30 because I have energy when I start to teach at 8:20. Like every time. And I think there's a correlation between that. And I tell the kids that, and I told them, if you show up to rehearsal and you have a Pop-Tart in you and like a Monster, you're going to feel like you just ate a Pop-Tart and a Monster. That's like probably 75% of your daily sugar intake. Okay, I know I'm like going in dad mode right now and talking about nutrients.
Which is good.
It's okay. But sometimes I think the teenagers get well, I will say this. Teenagers' bodies are much more forgiving, right? Especially with what you eat. Like if you think back to what you could get away with eating as a teenager, I mean, I just remember eating like a whole pizza to myself and nothing would happen, right?
Yeah.
So I think sometimes that they can get lost in like that stuff or whatever. And I was talking to some kids that work fast food, and there were a couple kids, this is kind of awesome, that at the end of the night, there were like 6 or 7 ice cream orders that didn't get picked up, and the kids got to take them home, and they're like, it was a good night. It was a good night, which is like great for them. But when you have to exert calories the next day, and you're thinking of what you're putting in your body, and you think of the sleep that you're giving your body or you're not giving your body, that stuff correlates. And maybe they're thinking they're invincible and like it's fine.
Yeah.
Now, you and I have had days that we teach that we have had very little sleep the night before, which is usually not our choice. We try to sleep and it just doesn't happen. Maybe the anxiety car is spinning or whatever.
Zaya carousel.
But the kids would never know,
Yeah.
right? Because we try and do the same thing every time.
Yes.
And if you want to do that and then own up to what you did yesterday and you you roll exactly the same, no one ever knows, fine. But you can't have your Takis and eat them too.
Hey.
Thank you.
That was good. I know this sounds like a public service announcement, but a lot of people don't feel their body right. And since we work with teenagers and we work with them doing a physical activity, we see the consequences of that. I just think self-care.
Careful, that's a buzzword. Careful.
I know. Okay,
Yeah, it's
nutrition. And I'm not like talking about
not your mental health.
No,
We're
I mean
talking
that's different. We can talk about that a different day. But that's eating
and sleeping
and drinking.
and drinking.
Okay.
I think kids are allergic to water. They carry around the Stanleys. Is there even water in them anymore?
No, they're just
All you hear is the
obnoxious.
ding
Obnoxious.
when they hit the ground.
They sound like I'm going out on my yacht on Lake Michigan. It's like bong. There's like the ship bell. Bong, bong. It's like to let me know the rocks are near. Okay, so this is going to sound very preachy, and I don't want it to sound judgmental, but this is how I grew up. I'm 55. Every morning, this is how it went. I had a bowl of cereal every morning. Usually,
Lucky Charms.
no,
Fruity Pebbles.
never had sugar cereals.
Cheerios.
Never.
The
Cheerios.
OG. You ate
with about
OG Cheerios?
with about 2 tablespoons of sugar on it, right?
You make your mom
And 2% whole milk. Okay, 2% whole milk.
Okay.
But the Today Show was always on
Okay.
with the TV on top of the fridge. Okay? And then it went to the news, like the local news on the 25. So
Okay.
you need to get ready for the bus. So I always had a bowl of cereal. Then after I had my bowl of cereal, my mom would come out and make me breakfast. So I had
It's like breakfast number 2.
eggs and toast, grilled toast cheese kind of stuff,
Ooh.
or oatmeal, or French toast, or bacon,
Yes.
or
Sue
English
Peterson
muffin,
knows what's up.
or
Let's go.
cream of wheat,
Here we go.
or whatever. There was always a hot breakfast.
For you and your brothers?
Whoever was around.
Cool.
And then I went out to the bus. I never walked out of the house without breakfast. Never. I didn't even know that was an option. I sat at the table with a placemat, watched Jane Pauley and Bryant Gumbel on the Today Show, and did that. Read the cereal box every day. I always had breakfast. And then I think when I got to school, college, I learned there was people that didn't have breakfast. I was like, what are you?
It's like the best meal
Spawn
of
of
the day.
Satan. What is wrong with you? What do you mean you don't have breakfast? Like, I always had breakfast at school. Even if I was running late, I would get a bagel to go and a bottle of juice. Like at that time, I wasn't slugging a lot of coffee. But, always had something. I never went without it. And then as a young adult, single, young adult married, young adult with kids, young adult kids are out of the house. I'm not a young adult, but just I have breakfast every morning. You do too. I could even if I'm running late, I would always do a breakfast. If we meet for band at 4 a.m, I have breakfast. I don't understand that. And one of our colleagues, Denton, remember, he for a while did breakfast, but then he gave it up.
He was doing that intermittent fasting.
Yeah,
right?
he just did without it.
Yeah.
I don't understand how people do that. So, but it is a concern that so many people are undernourished by choice.
And this is not, and again, we're not saying this is like an income thing because the school provides it. It's a choice because they're saying, I'm good. I do not need nourishment.
There was something hot and cold provided for every breakfast and every lunch at the school.
Yes, every time, every day.
And there is a dairy product to drink. There's a juice product, and of course, there's unlimited water supply at the school.
Every breakfast, every day,
every day.
And the best podcasts have the best breakfasts.
Have the best bagels.
The best bagels. So, do we? Okay, obviously that's the problem. What's the solution? What is it that we need to do? Or do we need to do anything? is there anything we can do to help kids do this? Because I'm guessing teachers that are listening right now are going like,
I've
yeah,
never heard of this. All my kids come in with omelets. No, I think that's true. I think we can't do anything about it except we can talk about it. And I think bringing it up to their consciousness.
We do. Sorry.
No, we do. We talk about it. And I'm going to start doing it more.
Breakfast checks?
I'm going to just start doing it more, just like talking about it, especially with a marching band. Like when you have a long rehearsal, you can't make it on a Pop-Tart. I mean, maybe if you're like some old guy that's up in the tower just like yelling at kids, but not if you're like a 16-year-old running around the pavement and it's 85 degrees.
Dude, the amount of food I consume, even as an adult, around the marching band season is kind of insane. It's like tonight, right? You and I are going to eat dinner at like 5. Early dinner, because we have rehearsal at 6. Full dinner. We're going to leave the school. You're going to go hit up 7-Eleven and get your Gatorade Zero, Little Debbie. You're probably going to do like what are you doing tonight? Zebra?
Those are so good. I do Nutty Bars or Little Zebras.
God,
or
the Nutty Bar and the Gatorade combo sounds so gross. Like peanut butter with like the red cherry Dayquil flavor or whatever that is. Dude, that's so gross.
No,
and then you're going to wash it down with some like nacho cheese Doritos. Oh, man.
I know. Should I get some Takis and Diet Mountain Dew and like record it? No. So that's like my like little dessert, like just
made it through another day.
Just get through another day and I'm like, chilling out. Right.
And then I keep a jar of peanuts in my desk.
You do.
Because I smash those all the time.
And what else?
Oh, I don't have the chocolate chips this year.
Why?
Wow, Steve is really upset about this. I'm trying to calm down on the chocolate chips.
Why?
I'll just let you guys know. This is how it goes down. I got really into like dark chocolate chips and peanuts and like combo. They would call it poor man's trail mix to me.
Yeah.
They would make fun of me at lunch.
Dude, there were so many times
good.
in Jack's opening years here, I would just go back to his office like, hit me up, bro. Right?
You come in, you're like Jack Black from School of Rock. You're like, okay, who's got food? You're not going to get in trouble. I'm just hungry. I don't know. I
didn't know that.
Stopped. Yeah, because I would. Okay, here's the other thing: is my schedule changed, and I have less time pre-lunch, and now I'm like eating less at school. So I'm trying to like help myself.
You're teaching so much, dude.
Steve, I came upstairs after third period, and Steve just looks at me and he goes like, "Oh," and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Dude, you teach a lot." I'm like, "Steve, we've done 2 classes today." He's like, I'm like, "Dude, you had this schedule last year." He's like,
I had this schedule for like most of my life.
Your life. And he's like, "I know, but I just look at what
just
you're
like,
doing.
Are you okay?" And I'm like,
"Man,
up
you're
here.
in the trenches all day."
And I'm up here, like
you're like a man in the high tower, looking out the window, peering through the blinds into the band room, like looks out like shudders. I'm gonna go back to my desk work.
to the vast screens that I communicate with people I never talk to. Look at numbers. I love numbers. Big numbers, small numbers. I love them all. You know,
I have the best numbers in the
best
world.
numbers.
Best numbers.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the funny thing though. This has nothing to do with the podcast, but okay, we have like these stainless steel flour sugar jars.
Okay.
That they're kind of like chrome looking, but we don't leave them out. Because we don't bake. But we keep them up in the cabinet, right? Okay. And so, but recently I felt a little mopey in the morning, so I've been putting sugar in my coffee.
Like switching it up, okay.
Yeah, a tablespoon just to kind of go zing, just something. And there was a sticker, a white sticker on it, kind of like a name badge, like from way back, like Kathy and I, like it said sugar, and it was like in an orange marker, but it was like really rough, you know? And then I went in there like a couple days ago. It was like a brand new sticker, and she had like a nice fancy font that said sugar. Put her own label on it. And I was like, oh wow, that's nice. But she goes, yeah, I thought it was time. I think it'd been on there for 30 years, like a sticker. But so the boy, like, we never really had like a sugar bowl like out on the table. Mm-hmm. The salt and pepper live on the oven if you want it, like on the back.
The sugar bowl's kind of dated, I think.
Yeah,
at this
we don't
point.
like. I grew up with that like all the time, but the sugar bowl we don't have. So if the boys wanted sugar, like for their cereal or like toast or something like that, they would have to get up in the cabinet. But so one time, my son Jacob, who's 19, now, soon to be 20 in a couple months. We went into the sunroom. I forget. Maybe Kathy found him. But found him in the sunroom on a couch, huddled up with the jar of sugar in a spoon.
When was this?
When he was probably like 5.
Okay, not this weekend.
No.
Or whatever.
So just to let
Okay.
you know, I mean, he's 19 now.
Okay.
Right? But he was cuddled up in the sunroom, kind of like hiding from us, but just going spoonful to spoonful to spoonful of
Gosh,
sugar.
if you're gonna do that, get the brown sugar out at least. My gosh. White sugar by the spit. That's kind of gross. I'm like imagining that feeling in my like the gritty. But hey, if you're 5, rock on, brother.
I think his teeth are okay.
Yeah, he's made it this far. He's only got.
And now he's like very health conscious.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's only on your insurance for another 6 years, so he can make it, right? Yeah. So, no more chocolate chips, but the food intake. When I was a kid, I would eat all the time, especially around band, because I was doing marching band and tennis. And dude, it would be like dinner number 1 right after school, dinner number 2 right when I get home, and then I'd like throw back some snacks or something right before bed. And it just like the calories in and calories out were just like so high all the time. And I look at kids now that the output's the same, clearly, if not more, because I think marching band has kind of accelerated its activity, especially in the last 10 years, with what you have to do with your body to be successful. But oh my gosh, dude, how do they do that? So Steve and I do something we call breakfast check, which is, and the other band directors do it too.
A time waster. No, it's not. No, we've been.
No, it's very important, kids. If you're listening, it's very important because we're building relationships with you. That's why we're doing it.
Oh, we've been doing that a long time, right? That's been going on for generations, like breakfast check.
Breakfast check.
You ever boo the people that don't? We used to boo the people that had nothing but. Psst.
You'd be booing the whole class at this point, man.
Yeah. So what do you find out?
I will say, there are a fair amount of kids that succeed, that do eat breakfast, that do eat something.
Good breakfast.
At least a bar, at least like a protein bar or something like that, or bread, something. But then there are the kids that go, I had air.
I know, it's just like, that is so hilarious.
That's awesome, dude. I bet that's going to be really funny when you're passed out in 3 hours. So, kind of doing that and hearing what's different. Yeah, it's like rapport building and community building, whatever. But it is
we
just want to know.
It's a little peek behind the curtain about what's going on.
I've been doing another good one is to do just food intake in the last 24 hours.
I'm going to do that tonight. We have rehearsal at 6 o'clock. I'm going to do that.
Food intake in the last 24 hours.
Not everybody, just the randomness.
And the stuff that they say is kind of cray-cray. And it's stuff that, like, doesn't even make sense. They'll be like, I had some ramen.
And some marshmallows.
And then I found a bag of Skittles in my coat pocket. I ate those.
And my mom had a pork roast like last week, and I had some of that.
And I'm like, great. So what'd you do for lunch today? Our former coworker, Austin Robbins.
Yeah.
He told me at lunch every day, blue Gatorade, chocolate Rice Krispie treat.
In high school?
In high school, every day for like 4 years. Blue Gatorade, chocolate
If you talk
Rice
to
Krispie.
him, you understand. No, okay, really? That's fascinating.
It is fascinating, dude. That's crazy.
Okay, but yeah, this is turning more to a diet show. But do you ever feel then that you just have to catch up on eating?
I feel that way right now, dude.
I do too. Like, there's some times that I catch up on eating and I just go bananas. I just eat so much.
You mean you eat crazy? You don't just eat bananas? I was just picturing you like a monkey. You're just like, I just go bananas.
No, I don't. George liked bananas. George loved the man with the yellow hat. Yeah, no, bananas. Like, I go bonkers just with food.
Because Saturday we ate pretty well. That pasta.
Oh, that was really
that
good.
slapped,
Okay,
dude.
yeah, we had a marching band invitational hosted here at Concord, and the parents had a ridiculous spread of food with salad and
Michael's.
breadsticks, and they had mastacholi from
And those
Michael's.
slider sandwiches.
great.
Those were so good.
They treated the community so well, the
Yes.
staffs and the directors and the bus drivers.
And we came back to critique, and I think I got there before you did, and I had this plate of like cherry cream cheese
Yes.
cake kind of thing, and I was eating it. And then I was like listening to tapes, and you looked at me and you were like, "Is that good?" And I'm like, "It was good." And then he comes back and gets it, and you start listening to tape, and then you look at me and you go, "Like it was good."
And I went back and got more.
But then yesterday, I had that performance,
Yes.
and it's always like at weird meal times, like it never lines up.
Right.
And then when I'm done, I'm never hungry because I like feel like kind of woozy from the sun and the heat
Yeah.
and standing up. So I didn't eat much yesterday. So right now I am like feeling it, and I got some like white chicken chili. It's gonna be good. So that's like the food thing. But I do think we should go back to the sleep thing too.
Okay. Go back to the sleep thing.
The amount of kids that come into school with energy drinks. I know I just said sleep and I'm talking about drinks, but they do that.
Unfocused. Okay.
I think they do that because they don't sleep. They're like, "Oh, I only got 3 hours. It's fine. I'll get a prime."
But you're talking about kids with 3 hours sleep that are choosing to do the 3 hour sleep.
Right. And I'm
Not
not
because
talking
of
about kids that are like sitting in bed and cannot fall asleep for 5 hours and only get 3.
We're talking about kids doing what?
Playing Fortnite.
I know, until 3 or 4. Well,
And you don't even win.
Steve, you're joking because you're just like roasting on kids. No, that's what they tell us.
That's what they tell us.
And they stay up till like 2, 3 or 4 playing Fortnite, and then they come to school with a Rockstar energy drink. I know that happens.
Because we see it.
And
Because they tell
they're
us.
in a hoodie that's like zipped up, and they feel
And they don't
awful.
take the jackets off.
Yeah,
They
the
go their
whole
whole day
day.
with jackets on. They get the sleeves over the hands. It's like a whole thing. Okay.
It's bad. So yeah,
They got big.
sleep deprivation is horrible for your body. It
And
wrecks
your mind.
your whole mind, body, and spirit. I mean, again, I've been going through the sleep scaries lately.
We need that old Snickers commercial. People to come back and be like, "You're not you when you're hungry. You're not you when you're sleepy.
8 hours
You
of
when
sleep.
you're
So
thirsty."
even if the kids got up at 7,
You could go to sleep at 11.
and if a kid says they go to bed at 11, you're like, oh, thank you,
You're like, "God bless you."
right? If they go to bed before midnight,
I'd even take midnight. I'd take 12:30, dude.
but once it gets into the ones, but it's like this badge of honor. Like I don't get it.
Well, and some kids are like, "Well, I work after school. I have school after school. Like I got to do homework, and I have band." And they're like, "I don't get any time to myself, so that's my time to unwind is playing Fortnite until 3 a.m." And I'm like, "Can we stop? Can we check the priorities here? First of all, what are you doing that you need so much time after school to do schoolwork? 1, 2." I get the job thing because some kids, that's their reality. They
Yep.
got to work.
Sure.
Fine. The band thing, that gets real around this time too. But you need sleep. You need sleep. And you can't play victim to things you're choosing to do. We can't do it either. I
No.
can't play victim. "Oh, man, why am I a band director? I have to go to rehearsal tonight. I didn't get a Saturday to myself." I would never say that because I choose this.
All right. You always have a choice.
You always have a choice. That's what that one guy says. Now, the
Loser.
sleep thing, doing sleep checks, I know we've talked about this because we had that reel where I was like, "I'm just going to pour coffee on my head if I can't get sleep." And you say, "Yeah, just for the burning and the blistering of the skin." But we talk to kids about how much sleep they get. And they, a lot of times, just don't, or they choose to. And I don't know how to fix that. I make jokes about myself drinking coffee every day, but that's not because I don't sleep. It's just because I like the taste and I like
Sure.
the caffeine.
I like the experience.
And I have the crippling caffeine addiction.
Okay, so how much sleep do you get?
I would say 7-ish.
You go to bed at.
This is sad. I go to bed like 9:30, dude.
Why is that sad? But you go to bed or you start like playing Dungeons and Dragons. I'm sorry if that sounds so mean. I don't know why. I'm like.
What's your
saying-
problem with
I
that?
don't-
Tell
I
the
don't-
listeners. What if we have listeners that play D&D? Tell them your thoughts. Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead, Stevie boy.
I have no idea why I'm throwing that one out today.
I don't. Okay, it's that part is not as funny, but you can't even finish saying Dungeons and Dragons before you just lose it and go into that maniacal laugh.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm playing phone games.
Okay, that's fine. So you don't subscribe to the theory that you shouldn't be on a bright screen before bed.
Oh, there may be truth to that. I just don't follow it.
But you don't have a problem falling asleep.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm not much of a reader right now. I do like to read. I do read, but I don't have many brain cell capacity left for books at the end of the day.
Okay, so you like get in bed and like plans.
I would say I'm in bed,
and then when your phone falls on your face, you go to bed. You ever do that?
It's never fallen on my face, not yet. In bed.
iPad, that hurts. Okay.
Yeah, don't try with a MacBook.
Okay.
Or a trumpet. Okay. In bed 9:30.
That's great.
I have the like iPhone sleep thing that hits at like 10.
Yep. Wait, does it go boop boop boop?
Play the lullaby thing.
Yeah.
Minor third.
Does yours do that?
No, does yours?
Yeah. 8:30. Time for bed.
Boop boop boop. Yeah, but you keep your sound on like a maniac. My gosh, the amount of times ba-bing! Ba-bing! Dude, it's 2024. Put that thing on vibrate mode. It's like, no, I need to look at my clock app. How am I going to know what time it is if I don't have 6 clocks going? Just to let you guys know, physical warm-up came around this week. He's like, Jack, check this out. Shows me his one singular clock on New York time. I'm like, that's great, dude. I'm going to go teach some choreo now. So I would say the lights are out. The white noise is playing.
Oh, you play white noise
every
off
night.
your phone?
Off
Or do
the
you have a
home pod.
Okay. So you do all night?
All night.
White noise? You have a fan on?
Yeah. Overhead fan.
Overhead fan. Air conditioning.
Breeze. Very dark. I got blackout curtains this summer. Game has changed.
That's good. Okay. And then you're out, and then you get up at what time?
6. You do like super cold, right? That's your jam.
Well, during these hot times, I've switched up rooms. Because where our bedroom is, we can't totally black out everything because the air conditioning is really weak up there. It's an older house, but it's a new unit, but it doesn't blow the cool air up there.
Mm-hmm.
But my son's room next to us, he has like a dormer room with a window unit, and that is like ice cold. And he's got a blackout shade. And I have a heavy blanket.
Oh, yeah. You told me when you got that. You're like,
and then I got like a personal fan on my face. I mean, it was probably...
You fan your face? That doesn't get uncomfortable?
65. I change it, but I mean, it really does help. But like 65 degrees. It's cold in there this morning. It was cold.
If you have a weighted blanket, though, you kind of need it to be cold.
Yes.
Because it's got to offset.
So...
I get that.
You know, I've been looking for just colder, darker stuff, you know, because when you have the windows open, it smells nice and it sounds nice, but I mean, it feels nice, but you hear the traffic. I mean, we live in a neighborhood, like a city neighborhood, and it's not like that loud, but you hear things.
No. Dude, I live right next to train tracks.
Dude.
And
you are a train track.
My There's the laugh again. Just cherish that, folks. Cherish that. When I lived in the apartment, it was right next to the police station. So there were like constantly sirens in the middle of the night. So I'm like, yeah, I'm away from that. But now I live right next to the train track. And I discovered pretty early on that the house will shake.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that. Dude, I thought there was an earthquake like 3 times. Because it's always like in the middle of the night where you're kind of like out of it that would wake me up and everything's like.
Yeah.
Cover. But I'm like, okay, we're fine. We're fine. Okay, so back to the kid side of this. You know what this is a symptom of? I'm gonna sound preachy now. It's my turn to be preachy.
Preach.
This is a symptom of not choosing to seek delayed gratification. Food, drink, sleep. Yeah. The kids choose delayed suffering. They're like, if I choose instant gratification, then I'm always gonna be happy instantly.
Right. Until
False.
I'm not.
False. It's such a hard skill to scaffold to teach, delayed gratification. And sure, we teach that skill in other ways, you know, like, for example, listening in jazz band. I think that's a very intentional way to delayed gratify in your musicianship. teaching style over time.
Yes.
By listening, by synthesizing, by creating. And we never talk about how that's delayed gratification, but it's clear that it is by the way they perform after they listen. We talk about the process every day. Every day, the process of a marching band rehearsal. We talk about that with the kids. We don't talk about how that's delayed gratification, but it is, because we spend time on it now, and it's slow now, but by the time October's run around, we're a machine.
Yeah.
We're a well-oiled machine. Sleep, good food, water. I mean, it's not as fun as Takis and Mountain Dew. It's not as fun staying up playing Fortnite.
But it will help you in the long run.
But the next day, you're going to feel a lot better.
Yep.
And the day after that, you're going to feel a lot better.
Quit looking in the room.
Is someone out there?
Yeah.
Let's get a recording studio. We'll hire one out. So I don't know how we teach kids to achieve that sense of delayed gratification, but I'll talk about food tonight with my students.
Okay.
We'll do a 24-hour check.
I'm going to talk about that a lot this week. Okay. So you're
I'm
going to have
ready.
white chicken chili. I'm going to have chicken noodle soup.
Have another apple in there. I do have the peanuts. And then if you ever need something else, you just sneak into the uniform room.
They got snacks.
They
galore.
got snacks
They got
galore down
snacks.
there. Rice Krispie treats in the package.
Okay.
Okay. We keep reviewing us. I'm like looking in the camera.
We got a review from a young teacher.
That's what they say. That's what they say. We got another review, but keep those coming. Keep the stars ratings coming, because that helps us a lot. A lot. Like and subscribe and follow on YouTube, TikTok, Apple, Instagram, Spotify. Tell your friends.
Yep.
Share the reels. Let those things blow up, because it helps us out.
Well, I think if you get 2 friends to follow our podcast, you can join for free. If you get 2 to join, we'll let you join for free.
We have just become a pyramid scheme. I'm here for it.
Right?
I'm here for it.
Maybe we should start charging people to listen, because then it might.
They have that. They have that on Apple.
Well,
You have
what are we doing?
We're changing the world, Steve. This is a noble cause. What are you doing? Playing Dungeons and Dragons over there? That laugh gets me every time. Okay, you got to do the sign-off thing, because I can't.
Okay, so for Steve Peterson,
Jack Hinkle.
we're out of here.
See ya.